Good morning, students. We will continue our political science second lesson, that is federalism. In last class, we saw the features which makes India a federal country, or what are the principles that makes India a federal country. Now, today we will read that how federalism is practiced in India, how it was brought into practice in our country. Students, constitutional provisions, that is changes, are necessary for the success of any federation, but only constitutional changes are not enough for its success. If the federation or federal experiment has succeeded in India, it is not only because of our constitution. The real success in India is due to the democratic politics or democratic policy which was adopted in our country. Because otherwise, we have lot of variation in our country based on language, geographical area, religion, culture, tradition. So it was only the democratic principle which made federalism to be more powerful or to be strengthened decade by decade. Now, in that first and the foremost comes the linguistic state. We all know that after our freedom in 1947, the states of India were divided on the basis of language. The formation of the states in India took place on the basis of language. Now, if you see the map of India in 1947 or before 1947 and the present political map of India, if you see, lot of changes have come. We have seen in those days there were large states, provinces like United Province, Central Province, Madras Province, like these various big provinces were there. In those provinces, various languages were spoken. It was very difficult to control them, administer them. So, to have proper administration, division was necessary. That is why at present we see small states, or the states or the boundaries of the state have been changed, which way we were saying in the 1947. Now we are not seeing, they have changed. Now they are based on the language. Now, but few states in India were divided based on their culture and geographical location. For example, if you see the states like Nagaland, Uttarakhand, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, these states were divided on the basis of their culture, ethnic composition, or geographical location. Now, if you see the language policy of the states, we all know that number of languages are spoken in India. Some languages have script, some languages don't have script, but numerous languages are spoken in India now. So there was a problem among the leaders of our country regarding the language policy. Our constitution did not give status of national language to any language. Now also our constitution does not give status of national language to any language. Hindi was identified as the official language, but Hindi is the mother tongue of only about 40% of Indians. Therefore, there are many other languages which were existing in India, which were to be safeguarded. Now, beside Hindi, there are 21 other languages which were known as scheduled languages by the Constitution of India, which has script, which are accepted and promoted by the constitution of our country. Now, in the first lesson we have seen that in Sri Lanka, the Sri Lankan government followed the language policy, that is only Sinhala speakers were given importance. So, in India also, the leaders thought that they had only 2 or 3 languages in Sri Lanka, but in India we have multi languages. So, we need to be very careful regarding the language policy of the states. We should not repeat the mistake what the Sri Lankan government has done in Sri Lanka. So, according to the constitution, the use of English for official purpose was to stop in 1965, and from 1965 Hindi was taken as the official language. But however, many non-Hindi speaking states demanded that the use of English must continue, especially in the state of Tamil Nadu, which opposed Hindi with great rivalry. Now, the central government responded by agreeing to continue the use of English along with the Hindi for official purpose. The central government accepted that English and Hindi both will be continued for the official purpose. And many thinkers think that promotion of Hindi continues to be the official policy of the government in India. But this promotion does not mean that the central government can impose Hindi on the state where people speak different languages. Central government is promoting Hindi, but it is not imposing that Hindi must be compulsory followed in the states where there are different languages are spoken. For example, if you take Maharashtra, Marathi is speaking. So the students of Maharashtra has a right to read and promote Marathi language in the state. Tamil you can say, Malayalam, Kannada, Telugu, every state they has their own language. State government has the right to promote the state language. They have full right, full liberty to promote the state language. So there is no restriction by central government on any state language. Now, center-state relation. We are reading about the federalism, and in federalism the power is divided between the central government and the state government. Now, restructuring the center-state relation is one of the way in which federalism can be practiced. For a long time in India, both in the central government, in the state government, we had seen same government or same party ruling in the central government and the state government for many years. Now, so there was no much proper question of sharing of power, or you can say it cannot be seen practically when both the parties are ruling. But in few states there were rivalry parties, that is the party which were ruling in the state government were not the member of the central government. Now in those states what is to happen, the central government at any time, any moment used to change the power of the state government or try to bring changes or try to interfere in the state government, which was not the spirit of democracy or the spirit of federalism. But this could not continue for a long time. Now, by 1990s, the Indians saw that a lot of changes started coming in the Indian politics. The regional parties or the state parties started becoming more powerful. These parties raised the issue of regional levels, language policies and all. and these parties started becoming more powerful, and they started overcoming the national parties, mainly in the states. If you take like Tamil Nadu, Andhra, like Tamil Nadu, we have two parties. One is DMK, one is AIDMK. If you take in Andhra Pradesh, TDP, which was founded by N.T. Ramarao. In Punjab, Akali Dal. In Uttar Pradesh, if you see Samajwadi Party, Bahujan Samajwadi Party. In Maharashtra, Shiva Sena. Like this, in various states, regional parties started becoming powerful. Now, so here came the era of coalition government, because the national party at the time, mostly the majority national party was only Congress. Now this party started losing its popularity, losing its vote bank, started losing its seats. So it has to do the coalition with the regional parties. So era of coalition government started, because when a single party is unable to form the majority, then he has to take the help of the other parties, that is known as coalition government. Now when the coalition government started, the principles of federalism became very important. It became more strengthened, and thus we can say the federalism which was practiced in India in 60s, 1780s was different, and the principles and the spirit of federalism which is practiced after 1990s and at present is different. Now all the state government are very much independent. They are having their own powers, limitations and restrictions. So that's all for today, students. We'll continue tomorrow.